Hello, this is my second video, my first video of me recording myself playing in a cup match. This cup match took place at the Warchest in Dunleary, and I'd like to preface this video with an apology. It is a bit scuffed. You'll see from both games that the angle's a bit awkward. I thought the Osmo would go a little lower in terms of the angle as to where it pointed when we were playing the games. You'll see I'm fiddling with it a bit here. First match you can only mainly see my board. Second match you'll see a bit of both. I'm going to do a bit more research, look into solutions as how to fix this. Now, first game was against Dragapult. I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back and play Bunny Bomb just for the sake of comfort, and I know how to play it. That if something goes wrong, it's on me and not me not knowing how to play. Problem with Bunny Bomb is it's mainly a low punny and Dusk Noir setup deck, which means it runs off quick movements, being able to swap in and out and do whatever you have to do. Thankfully, there was not much of a Budu situation until just now. You'll notice there's 1 damage on the Kangaskhan. That means any Buddy Puffins, any rare candies, any nest balls are now immediately shut down. Item locked. So I can't rare candy into a Dusk Noir and start chipping away at his bench. I'm kind of forced now to set up with Hilda's, and that comes to me. I have experienced, and you'll see immediately, nice quick swap into a low punny with a jet energy for 230 damage. The problem I have with the Bunny Bomb deck is it cannot handle Goldengo, Lucario, and Dragapult well. It can handle quite well the likes of Venusaur, Terraboxes, but unfortunately today was not my day. I was hoping to at least do a bit better than I did. I won 1 game and lost 4. Realistically, if I'd played a bit better, I would have won 3. I especially should have won the last game, but you'll see later on in the video that my quick thinking also led to my loss because it benefited the opponent. Now, I'm not going to ramble on for the entire video because I don't think I can talk for 11 minutes about a card game you can only see half of. But Low Punny deck was the deck I brought to London with me. It was the deck I played in EUIC, and I thought I had a good fighting chance of it, but I realised it's still not meta. It was kind of a sub-meta. Some people used it, some people incorporated it into their decks, but not many were playing a full Low Punny deck. The highest a deck very similar to this was the Low Punny deck that came 80th in the EUIC tournament. I will get exact details of that in a couple of minutes, but it's a promising deck, and it's a bit like a chess opening. If it works, and it works well. If there are bumps in the road, it does not work as well. And that's when it gets frustrating, especially if you've been item locked. If you've been item locked, you're kind of stuck with what you have. Your Buddy Puffins are gone. Your Nest and Ultra Balls are gone. So you're kind of wondering, okay, I need to find a way to not only rotate my Pokemon, considering I didn't have a Latias at this point. My Budu was in my prize pool. You're looking to manipulate the board to your favour. Problem was, this dude had a Budu, which I got rid of, but was quickly setting up on the backbenches multiple Dracloaks, but wasn't evolving them to Dragapult. And I was thinking, okay, he either doesn't have a Dragapult, he did, or he's deliberately recon directing until I become a threat, which I thought I was at this point, and then start chipping away. The person I was playing against is Sean from PW Card Co. So, Sean, thank you for letting me record. He pointed out quite early on in this game that if you're setting up in a game like this, especially against the Dragapult, you should have 2 Duskull rather than 2 Low Punny. The problem I faced with 2 Low Punny in the past is one of them always got sniped. If I ran 2 Duskull, one of them got sniped. So I tried to have 2 of each, but then your bench is limited to 1 spot. You need to have a low punny to so I have a forgotten name for it. 2 Dusk Noirs, your Latias and your Kangaskhan, which doesn't fit. So you have to sacrifice something somewhere. I usually would sacrifice a low punny, but from past experiences, especially at London, not having a backup low punny really leaves you stuck in a corner, because if you can't attack with low punny, your Dusk Noirs, which are essentially self-inflicting bombs, wipe your board as well as your opponents. So you really have to play your cards right in that situation. Now, Sean was playing the clever game. He played 1 Dragapult, had the rest of the Dragapults out on the bench ready for recon directive, and pretty much from the minute my low punny gets taken out, game is in his hands. You'll see quite later on that he takes the Kangaskhan for the final 3 prize cards. Not much I could do in that situation, but then again, it was really a matter of manipulating my team like a chess opening to really get the best opportunity. I didn't do that. You'll see I finally get the Budu there, but it's a bit too late. Something like a Budu could really hinder a Dragapult based on what they're running. If they're not running, say, Buddy Poffins, then it's a bit trickier because they'll always have some other way of getting their prizes out and their points out and their cards out. So 230 onto the Lopunny and 60 onto Duskull, which is knocked out. And I will let the video ride out from here for the rest of this game, and I'll come back for game 2. So yeah, cheers.
Da chamada, na cena, da chamada, na cena, da chamada, na cena, na cena. All the ladies hold up, hop in the ride, it's a brand new motor. Get on the fly, live la vida loca. My body fine, it's a Coca-Cola. Hold on, no one no sleep and I swear to total. Throwing it back when I press rewind, losing my mind.
Okay, and in game 2 versus Mega Man or Mega Manetric, I'm unfamiliar with this deck. I was familiar with iterations of like Zekrom with the Electros, but I'd never played against a Mega Manetric deck. So it was interesting. I was kind of thrown a little bit. Had a good start though with the Nest Ball into a Kangaskhan, and I had a Bunny to put on the bench. I have a Latias, which you can't really see over on the side. I put my Kangaskhan to the front, and we're going to go for his ability now in a second. His ability is great, especially if you have Cypher Maniac, which I did not have at this moment in time. Oh, I did. Never mind. I completely forgot. I did play it. Usually with Cypher Maniac, I'll try go for Enriching Energy very early game, and either a Lopunny or a Rare Candy if I've Dust Noir in hand, or a Hilda if I've neither. It depends, but I always go for Enriching Energy just because it gives me an extra 4 draw. Shortens my deck down a bit. At least I know I have better chance of pulling whatever I need. This game, quite interesting. You'll see I actually do inspect his Mega Manetric when it comes out. Also a very exciting game because it came very down to the wire at the end. I nearly had this one. Personally, if I'd done one or two things differently, this would have been one of the games I won. But I am quite happy with how it went. Personally, I am a bit annoyed at the scuff in this video. Now people will say it's fine, early days, whatever. But going from phone to computer and editing, I'm editing this off my phone with my DJI mic and using CapCut. It's very early days, so I can't be too harsh on myself, but I am going to be harsh on myself and be a critic. I wish it looked better. There's the likes of Benji, who records for Ireland's games on his Instagram. I'll tag him below because he's been a big inspiration. But his are such a higher quality that it makes mine look quite infantile. I do want to learn how to better myself with angles. I do want to focus more on boat players. What's the word for it? Boat players. Matt's problem was, and someone pointed it out quite early on, I can't have it in a situation where my opponent can see my hand or vice versa. The way the camera was laid out anyway, I wouldn't have been able to see solely because it was on a phone. But I do understand where they're coming from. If it's a neutral third party who's recording, that does make it easier because they don't care about what each opponent has in their hands. They're just there for the content. It makes life a lot easier from a more journalistic perspective. But when you're playing, I didn't want to do a chest cam because they're awkward and I'd be breathing down the microphone. I didn't want to do a kind of sidebar sticking out because it would just look awkward, and I don't have the equipment to do an aerial shot. So small improvements over time, but this match looked a bit better. You can see the Dynamo on his board a little bit. But straight into the Dust Noir, had the Kangaskhan out, had Lopunny out, swap in to get my recon directive. He also Budu'd me in the first turn, so that made things a bit awkward, but I knocked it out quite quickly. I wasn't dealing with that. You'll see another quick swap in to do a knockout damage on the Dynamo. I held off on using this Dust Noir, I believe, solely because I wanted to put it towards something stronger like his Manetric, which I knew had enough HP that a Lopunny would not finish it. As you'll see in this game, I'm going to explain it now. In the final turn, he had 2 Manetrics on hand. He had knocked out my Lopunny. I had a Lopunny in hand to use, but he Iono'd, so my hand was essentially pretty much dead unless I had pulled a Cypher Maniac, which I did. I then used that to pull I used the Hilda, to get a Lopunny and a Boss Orders. The Hilda on the top deck in the last round really helped because I could set up a Lopunny, Jet Energy in. With the Dust Noir I had at the end, it would have finished the game off. Problem was, I couldn't use a boss's orders to bring in something smaller. Sorry, there was no Dust Noir. That's why I needed boss's orders to work. Since I'd already used Hilda, I could only deal 230 to his Mega Manetric, and he attached energy, free retreated into the charged up Manetric, and finished me off for game. It sucked, because you'll see I get excited very quickly in the last minute here, because I realise, hang on, I might have this in the bag here. A glimmer of hope in the darkness. Unfortunately, was not to be, but to be honest, real good game. Okay, there goes the first low bunny. There is a Buniri to the left of that Latias. I'm counting my hand. Checking. I get the Hilda, I believe, so I should put it down here. Waiting to see. Yeah, there's me thinking. What's the best possible outcome here? Do the Dust Noir. Get the Hilda from the Dust Noir. Jet energy in a low punny. Stick on the low punny. And I try to boss it. Then I got corrected, saying I've already used the Hilda, I can't boss. I just did the 230. It unfortunately was not enough, because the Dust Noir went towards another Pokemon, and that was game. So, look, great game. That was fun, because I'd never played against Mega Manetric. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry if this commentary is a bit lackluster or hard to follow. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers.